First the Fat Boys breakup, now this. Shout out to my boy Q Reviews who sent me the article stating that Spider-Man is out of the MCU. I'm like, this has got to be a joke. I messaged him back like, bro, you got to be fucking kidding me. Nope, serious as cancer. So I read the article, and from what I got out of it, looks like Sony and Marvel, Kevin Feige, them could not come to an agreement. I don't know all the specifics on it. I can hear some of you in the comments right now. Well, first of all, if you do your research, you'll see that Sony had a 50% deal and Marvel wanted more than that. That's why they didn't do it. So maybe you should do your research first before you put up videos like this. Motherfucker, why don't you do a video about it? Well, I don't have time to do videos because I'm too busy trolling people like you who actually are trying to do videos, and people like myself just like to troll. Sorry, don't have time for it. So bottom line is, looks like Sony and Marvel cannot come to an agreement as far as money. I guess who's going to put up most of the money, who's going to profit most of the money. From my understanding, I could be wrong about this, but wasn't Sony pocketing most of the money? So wasn't the MCU doing most of the work? Wasn't Marvel doing most of the work and Sony's just sitting back collecting a check? I'm assuming that's how it went. If it is, why fuck up a good thing? I wasn't a fan of Homecoming, but I thought Far From Home was a very solid Spider-Man movie, and it made a shit ton of money. It crossed over $1 billion, and it's set up to what could be a potentially great sequel, and you pull the plug and say, nope, we're taking them back. Sorry, we're going to bring them back home to Sony, and we're going to make some good Spider-Man movies because look at our track record. We make some very fucking awesome Spider-Man movies. Aside from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 and 2, the rest of them have been shit. So what is y'all talking about? Even last year's Venom I thought was mediocre. It was kind of a good time. I mean, I'm not going to shit on Venom, but it wasn't like great or nothing like that. But it's like, dude, look at the big scope of things. There's so many characters and so many stories you can explore in the Marvel Universe. But it's like a lot of that is halted because of copyright issues and rights, and, you know, Universal has these characters, Sony has these characters. Oh man, it's like, man, let's just come together and let's just do right by the fans, do right by the fans of Marvel, and tell the stories that we want to see. You know what I mean? Like we should have been got the Avengers versus the X-Men. We should have been got Spider-Man in the MCU. You know what I'm saying? Hulk deserves his own solo film. Okay, I'm not going to get started on the Hulk, but you know where I'm going with that. So now the question is, now what? Now what happens? You got Spider-Man back, Sony. What are you going to do with them? I believe Tom Holland has 2 more movies on his contract, so you telling me we're going to get some Sony-made Spider-Man films and he's not going to be part of the MCU? That's fucking retarded. Tom Holland's Spider-Man has been part of the MCU since 2016. He's had appearances in, Civil War was the first one. Then you had Homecoming, then Infinity War, Endgame, and then Far From Home. So Tom Holland's Spider-Man has been in 6 of the MCU films. He is a key component in this universe. You're just going to snatch him away, make these other movies, and he has nothing to do. So all that shit that happened in Infinity War don't count. So there's not going to be any mention of the snap and the shit that happened with Mysterio. So from this point on, they're going to do these movies and none of that stuff ever happened. And Tom Holland's still going to be playing Spider-Man, and then we're going to have Tom Hardy's Venom. Come on, man. A part of me feels like Sony is trying to really sabotage the character, because every time Sony gets something good going with Spider-Man, we get something that just fucking derails everything. Spider-Man 1, Sam Raimi shit, back in 2002, smash hit. A little dated now, but it was a hit. Spider-Man 2, epic. To this day, probably one of the best superhero films ever made. I say the best live-action Spider-Man ever made. If you're talking about overall Spider-Man film, I think that goes to Into the Spider-Verse. But to me, Spider-Man 2 is the best Spider-Man movie, live-action movie of them all. And then 3 comes out. 3 was, okay, 3 is not as horrible as some people make it out to be. There was some enjoyment in Spider-Man 3. But it compared to that second one, no. But Sam Raimi wanted to continue this. And Sony said, pull the plug. We're going to start over fresh again. We're going to get a whole nother Spider-Man, and it's going to be greater than anything Sam Raimi's ever done. Fans, trust us. Watch us. We're going to show you. We're going to give you a better Spider-Man than Sam Raimi ever gave you. And then Amazing Spider-Man happened. Then even worse, Amazing Spider-Man 2 happened. With Amazing Spider-Man 2 being total shit, okay? They scrapped the character. Marvel says, you know what? Let us have Spider-Man. We know what to do with him. We're going to incorporate him into this established universe, and we're gonna make Spider-Man great again. He's been the face of Marvel ever since these old farts have been kids, so we know what to do with them. Sony says, okay, but we profit the money. You can use them, but we get the biggest checks. No problem. Tom Holland is a hit with the fans, including myself. Personally, I wish he would do more Spider-Man-ish type stuff, like be Spider-Man. Okay, we've been seeing Spider-Ling, Spider-Boy for a minute. I'm ready for him to come into his own as actual Spider-Man, but I like Tom Holland as the character, and I think the MCU has done pretty good with them. I don't understand. I mean, I guess when it comes down to it, this is a business. It's show business, but it's business. But as a fan, I'm like, come on, y'all. Because when it comes down to it, it should be about the fans, because we're the ones that paid to see this shit. We're the one that buy the merchandise. We're the ones that are putting money into these studios' pockets by paying to see this shit. So I think we should have some say about what the hell goes on. But hey, as they say in New York, the fuck you gonna do? I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about this. I mean, I know what to say. It's some bullshit. That's what I'm gonna say. This is some bullshit. Spider-Man had a good thing going on with the MCU. He was catching momentum. He's making a shit ton of money. I think Far From Home is probably the highest grossing Spider-Man movie in the world to date, if I'm not mistaken. Why would you fuck up a good thing, Sony? Why? Why? Man, this is some bullshit. So anyways, y'all, comment freely below. Thank you for watching. As always, this is Rashad G signing out. See you in the next video.